Now, ladies and gentlemen, over the last week, Counter-Strike has had its 25th anniversary, and it was thought to have a surprise birthday update with either something as small as chickens or possibly large as an operation. But with it now being 2 days that have passed by, that couldn't be further from the truth, at least kinda. As most of you know, and for those who don't, it was leaked a little over a week ago, CS2 would be getting 5 new maps, new skins, new agent customization, and keychains based off of data mines, as well as rumors spread throughout the community. Which at this very point, it's still planned to be on its way based off of recent shadow updates behind the scenes, but Valve last night just released their first update in over a week, which didn't include some of these recent bugs, which that alone makes me assume that Valve will send out a major patch alongside the large update that is soon to follow, at least that's rumored as of right now. Today's video, there's much to discuss. We're going to take a look at last night's blog post and break down what actually got changed and improved for gameplay, as well as touch on how Counter-Strike has survived as long as it has without getting a new anti-cheat for the last decade, and some but next to no content, such as an operation. Now today's video sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a buying but most notably trading marketplace, that being for your CS2 items. You can trade off your old skins for something new. All you do is log in with Steam, you start a trade, and any cash remaining goes to your available balance on the site. When it comes to trading an item you don't have enough balance for on the site, Skins Monkey has a large variety of deposit options. By using my code MANDO, you can get up to a free $5, and by depositing alongside using my code, you get an additional 35% of a deposit bonus. With Skins Monkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, the link will be in the top of the description down below. Now, firstly for today's video is Counter-Strike's most recent update, that being from last night. After 1 week of no blog posts or direct word from Valve, yet just teases of Danger Zone 2, and Office gift replies to the map creator of Mills, which is a rumored map to be released alongside 4 other maps for a leaked or supposed operation. Valve late last night, I mean extremely late, I believe it was actually in the AM over here in North America, CS devs released a very small set of patch notes that was so small earlier on in the day that it was thought to not even have a blog post, but that was of course proven wrong. Now yes, I know most people are probably going to take these 2 patch notes as a joke, maybe because they haven't or won't play based off of this update, at least until there's something big, but these things that have been added and fixed inside the game make it feel a whole lot better. This update definitely packs a punch for only being 17 megabytes. The first point is Valve fixed a case where the game would think a key was still pressed after it had been released, which this literally explains word for word, I would say in English or more so human terms, of at least what I've been saying for the last little while, ever since CS2 first released. You know, even dating back to CSGO when CSGO came out and it was in its prime. Most players felt that CSGO was very sticky. CS2 still feels the same way and still has a bunch of other problems, but this was just one that was added on to everything else. Let's just say you'd press shift or control whatever you use to crouch, or W to go forward. You would press it, sometimes it would actually go forward you, you'd press it and go forward or crouch or whatever you're doing, and then there's some other times where it would register, but then you'd stop pressing it, but it would just keep going forward on its own, or sometimes just not work at all. And that was all based off a connection to the subtick, which we will get into soon. And the second point is Valve made more improvements to networking to account for packet loss and jitter, which this I believe also falls into play for subtick and your connection to the server, but just making it feel a lot closer to what it did like in CSGO. Now, like we mentioned earlier, the blog post seems small, but after playing myself and seeing some others discuss their gameplay post-update, the game seems to have improved with their connection. Now, I'm not sure if it's the subtick that got improved or just servers. Connection to both servers and subtick, I have no idea. Now, the Twitter post by Frequency CS I think sums up how I feel, and a lot of others do post-update. It's said by some when you play an online match of Counter-Strike, if it's deathmatch, competitive, or premier, or maybe even face it feels very similar to a workshop map when you're playing offline, but actually you're online. Which this sounds all fine and dandy, and it sounds great, but there's a couple things with this, right? Almost every other update for Counter-Strike 2 that we've received so far, things get reverted or changed without actually meaning to get changed in the first place. So what if this changes the next update? We're gonna have to go both through this entire process again. Number 2, this of course also all depends on your connection. The best way I can describe this is, in my opinion, it feels a lot closer to CSGO, where you were having 30 ping is actually 30 ping. Whereas up until CS2 recently, if you have 30 ping, maybe even 50 inside Counter-Strike 2, it would feel like 60 to 80 plus inside CSGO, if that makes any sort of sense. Now this update does seem small, yes, but it definitely packed a punch, which leads me having questions. Why would Valve not fix the delay bug and things similar of that nature last night? Mainly being only if nothing was coming soon, which if you can't tell yesterday and even now, this has led me to believe we're gonna see a very large update soon. Because if an update wasn't coming, we most likely would have seen patches just a few days ago, especially of these bugs that are in the game. What's the holdup if Valve isn't adding an operation, new skins, new customization, or even maps to Counter-Strike 2? Now lastly for today's video, stepping aside from the next update for Counter-Strike 2, is a quick discussion of Counter-Strike's player count that has never really fallen off. Now yes, we have had some flukes throughout the year, and going back just a few years as well, but we've had quite a steady growth over the last decade for how many problems this game has had, how many controversies it's been through. Now this itself may actually receive its own videos, and there's maybe 1 or even 2 videos worth of discussion. But this all simply started from his tweet from Jesus yesterday that got quote tweeted up the wazoo, and for those wondering, this is by no means directing hate or showing hate, just my opinion and thoughts about how CS2's steady growth of player count has continued to rise despite all of its recent problems. Jesus tweeted yesterday morning saying barely any updates plus major cheating problems plus endless depression in the community equals 5 months of straight growth. This game makes no sense, which to be fair, it does make a whole lot of sense. But then I saw someone that I follow, that being Void on Twitter pretty much summed up my thoughts in one tweet, but probably can be elaborated on quite a bit. Now, Valve Squad or Void on Twitter said because the game is actually good and the vocal minority constantly about the state of the game doesn't actually represent everyone. Now, I really don't want to be that guy, but I suppose I will for today. I'm in no means calling out any specific content creator, video, or post out in particular, but for an example, if you post a tweet or a video about how bad CS2 is, you complain about cheating and how bad the state of CS2 is, how it's the worst thing in Counter-Strike's history, that's all fine and dandy. You know, go protest and play Valorant if that's your cup of tea. But it's the fact how most people, specifically content creators, complain and riot to Valve, and then for their next 5 videos are case openings giving Valve tens of thousands of dollars, meanwhile, but also influencing their audience to gamble and want to do the same thing. You're complaining, but you're also feeding into the problem. The only way this will ever stop is if we stop giving Valve money. It's just very simple. Now, that's just my thoughts, just my opinion. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about the player count rising inside Counter-Strike 2 despite all of its problems, as well as let me know if you've had any improvements after last night's update. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.